Part 34. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing-Jue Chen. Chapter 331. In order to maintain the best condition, he still gets up at the same time in the morning, but goes to bed earlier at night. At this time, Qiaoning Sun and his family sent He Yuan Yang into the examination room together. Today's college entrance examination will occupy the school classroom, so all the first and second grade students are on holiday. Just as He Yuan Yang was about to enter, Qiaoning Sun said seriously, "Cousin, relax, you will definitely get an ideal score." He Yuan, brother, don't be nervous. You were ranked first in the grade in the previous exams, and there is no problem in the college entrance examination. He Yuan Yang nodded, "Yes, I understand." After saying that, he went to find the class teacher, took the admission ticket and walked in. At this moment, a teacher looked at the admission ticket in his hand and looked around anxiously. Others also noticed that her face was very nervous, and many people took the initiative to ask, "Teacher, are you sick?" The teacher said, "It's not that I'm sick, but there is another student who hasn't come to me to get his admission ticket yet. If he doesn't come, he will be late. If he is delayed for a long time, he will not be able to go in." Some parents took the initiative to ask, "Which classmate is it? Do I recognize it? It's Denyu. This classmate has good grades and is very well behaved. I'd better call her parents." Qiaoning Sun frowned. "Denyu? Isn't he the person who participated in the math competition with her some time ago? But when she participated in other competitions later, she didn't see her. Everyone has their own reasons. She had a lot of things at home at that time, so she didn't pay much attention to it." After the teacher finished speaking, he found the address book and quickly called Denyu's mother. Denyu's mother. Soon, she hung up the phone again. Qiaoning Sun asked with concern, "Teacher, what's wrong with Denyu?" "It's you." The teacher recognized Qiaoning Sun and said worriedly, "Denyu's mother said that Denyu has left home for an hour, but she used to walk to school from home and it only took 20 minutes. Denyu is still riding a bicycle today, so he should have arrived long ago." Other parents and teachers are also worried. "It's a 20-minute journey and we haven't arrived even after an hour of riding. Something must have happened, right? It must be true." The child's parents are also very arrogant. There are so many cars now and today is such an important day. How can they let their child come to take the exam alone? That is, if something happens, there won't even be anyone to discuss it. Yes, parents are too irresponsible. Have the parents of the child come over? No, her parents said they were at work and couldn't leave. If their children can take the exam, they can take it. If they can't, forget it. The crowd was suddenly in an uproar. Would anyone do this to his own child? Even so, this is too much. This is related to the future of the child. Do they regard the child as their own? Isn't Denyu their biological child? It's very possible. My child is in the same class as Denyu. Denyu's parents never went to parent-teacher conferences for her, even if she did well in the exam. Denyu was scolded by the teacher several times. Excessive, really excessive. Qiaoning Sun silently left the crowd, counted with his fingers, and understood clearly. Denyu is really not the biological child of her parents. Her current parents are human traffickers. When she came to her family, she said, "Grandpa, Grandma, Mom, Cousin, I'm going to look for that Denyu." He Yuan whispered, "Have you figured out where she is?" Qiaoning Sun nodded, "That's right." He Yuan, "I'll go with you." Qiaoning Sun thought for a while and nodded. The two of them immediately went to buy a bicycle each and quickly rode to the place where Qiaoning Sun was planning to go. It's not that they don't take the car, but the traffic control here is very serious. Where Denyu is, the traffic jam is also very serious. If you take the car there, by the time you pick up Denyu, the time to enter the school has already passed. Xiaoningsun has unlocked the Shikuka formula a few months ago, so she can reach Denyu quickly even by riding a bicycle. Sure enough, 3 minutes later, Xiaoningsun saw Denyu in a remote alley. She appeared here probably to take a shortcut and avoid the traffic jam. Denyu was sweating profusely at this time and kept looking at his watch. His eyes were moist and his hands were shaking. "Uncle, please, I am a college entrance examination student. If I don't go there, I won't be able to catch up with the time. Then my whole life is over. How about I give you my parents' phone number and you go to the hospital for a checkup and I'll ask them to pay your medical bills later." The old man snorted, "Young girl, do you think I am easy to deceive? I have eaten more salt in my life than you have eaten. I want you to go to the hospital with me now. If I let you go, you will definitely leave me alone. Denyu, please, uncle, if I go to the hospital with you now, I won't be able to take the college entrance examination." The old man had a scoundrel look on his face. "I can't care about that, otherwise you can call your parents immediately and ask them to come over, or you can directly transfer 5,000 yuan to me via WeChat." Denyu's face turned pale with anxiety. "I took the college entrance examination today and didn't bring my mobile phone." A person passing by said, "Old man, I think you were not seriously hit by a bicycle. You still had the strength to hold on to other people's arms and you stood upright. It looked like you were fine at all, so you just let it go. It's a little girl, she's delayed in her college entrance examination and something will happen." Another person said, "Even if you want to blackmail someone, you have to look at the timing. If you ruin someone else's life, you will be punished." The old man said disdainfully, "Humph, I don't think her grades are very good. She is probably the material to fail the exam. It doesn't matter whether she takes the exam or not. You." Xiaoningsun quickly walked over and said, "I will pay for the money. You let her take the college entrance examination first." Denyu saw Xiaoningsun coming and didn't know what was going on. She was obviously younger than herself, but she just felt that she was saved. The old man looked at Xiaoningsun and said, "Who are you?" "Xiaoningsun, she is my cousin, we both went to number 1 middle school." The old man frowned, "Do you have money?" Xiaoningsun opened his backpack and took out 10,000 yuan in cash. "Isn't this money?" The old man's eyes suddenly widened, and he instinctively wanted to grab it. Xiaoningsun took the money back again. "You let my cousin take the exam first." The old man hesitated for a moment, thinking that these people would not run away. This child was probably a girl from a wealthy family, otherwise she would not be carrying so much money with her. "Okay, go ahead." Denyu said with a grateful face, "Xiaoningsun, thank you very much. Xiaoningsun, you can ride my bike and leave with my cousin. It's not too late to go there now." Denyu nodded, got on his bicycle and left. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Chen. Chapter 332. He Yuanhui also followed behind her. When the old man saw the person leaving, he immediately regretted it. But there was no point in regretting. He could only look at Xiaoningsun and said, "You can give me money now." "Xiaoningsun, I want to record what you are saying now, is that okay?" The old man didn't know why. He originally wanted to say no, but he actually said yes. Xiaoningsun pressed the recorder. "How many times have you blackmailed someone?" The old man said proudly, "How many times? I can't count. I made a fortune by blackmailing money. Blackmail money comes quickly, and it is more comfortable than going out to work and having a pension. The most I earn in 1 month is 100,000. What is the concept of 100,000? My son can't earn 100,000 in a year, but I can earn 100,000 in 1 month. I used this money to buy a house for my son. Originally, he didn't like me after all. I grew up with his mother and I didn't pay any support. But since I bought him a house, he has become a filial son and visits me often. Chiao Ningxun sneered, he should only come to see you because of your money. If I'm not wrong, if you don't give him money when he comes to see you, he will scold you, and then he won't show up for a long time. I will visit you again, and so will your grandson. If he has money, he will call you grandpa. If he doesn't have money, he won't greet you even if he sees you on the street, right? The old man's face froze, extremely embarrassed. Chiao Ningxun, actually, that student just now didn't touch you at all. You weren't hurt at all, right? The old man wanted to say no, but at this moment his mouth was out of his control. Yes, I took the initiative to approach her, and then fell in front of her. Injured. I won't pay for it, so next time I have to take a long break and waste my money. Chiao Ningxun, what else? What other illegal things have you done? The old man, no, I only blackmail people. But once I blackmailed someone, in order to prove his innocence, the person jumped from the 18th floor and died. Even after he died, I also asked for their family's money. Chiao Ningxun frowned, you've already killed people, and you still haven't stopped. The old man looked unconcerned, if you die, just die. It's not my family members who died, and people are always going to die. If you die early, you will die later. If you die early, you will be relieved. He will not have to serve him in the future. Parents, support your children. Chiao Ningxun gritted his teeth, this man is really hateful. She made a phone call, and the police arrived shortly after. When the old man saw the police coming, he came to his senses instantly and trembled, you kid, you won't pay unless you pay, and you actually called the police. Chiao Ningxun, for a wicked person like you, it would be easier for you not to call the police. Those students were afraid of you before, but I am not afraid of you. An old policeman asked, is this the man blackmailing people? Chiao Ningxun handed the recorder to the old policeman, yes, he just confessed to me what he did, including the time he blackmailed someone to death. You can notify that person's family and clear his name. Lest if he dies, the family will be stigmatized and have no peace. The old policeman nodded, okay. When the old man saw the police coming to arrest him, he turned around and wanted to run away. How could he possibly outrun a young and strong policeman? He was caught in a police car in the blink of an eye. On the other side, Denyu got on his bicycle and rode anxiously to school. She didn't know why, but she felt that the distance was very far, but she actually rode there in 2 minutes. Her class teacher, Teacher Lin, saw her finally coming from a distance and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing her sweating profusely, she said with relief, you don't need to say anything, just leave it to me. There's only 1 minute left, so hurry in. Denyu nodded, picked up his admission ticket and ran into the school. Teachers and parents of students around him also breathed a sigh of relief. Teacher Lin saw He Yuanhui coming behind Denyu and asked, are you He Yuanhui, a sophomore in high school? Why did you come here with Denyu? He Yuanhui, my cousin and I went there to look for someone, and we saw an old man, that's it. If my cousin and I hadn't gone there, my senior sister would probably still be pestered by that old man. The onlookers were shocked. Teacher Lin was filled with indignation, that old man is so disgusting. He actually wants to destroy the child's future just to extort money. Parents are also angry. You are so wicked, yet you are not afraid of retribution. Don't any children in his family take the college entrance examination? Don't you know what the college entrance examination means? He must know, and just because he knows, he will definitely give him money if he is blackmailed. Abominable, really abominable. No, we can't just let him go, we have to call the police. Yes, call the police. There are exams in the afternoon and tomorrow we must call the police and we can't let him harm students again. Chiao Ningxun suddenly came over, don't worry, everyone, I have called the police and the police have arrested him. He can't get out for the time being. The onlookers were overjoyed at the same time. Teacher Lin also knew Jiaoning Sun. After all, she had brought a lot of glory to the school. She asked excitedly, Jiaoning Sun, is it true? Jiaoning Sun nodded, that's right. Teacher Lin was relieved. Parents are also relieved. Originally, some parents thought that the house was close to the school and just wanted to send their children here in the morning, leaving them to take the next few exams by themselves. After all, most of them are 18-year-old adults. Now that I think about it, it would be better to pick them up and drop them off in person. In case something happens, adults can adapt accordingly, and children won't panic like Denyu's child. Jiaoning Sun waited at the door for a while. Seeing that no students had any more accidents, he asked his family to go back to Tianling community to rest temporarily. She returned home and went directly to the study to check the sales of clothes. After several months of development, the Xingzhou garment factory has tripled its size and has been recruiting new staff one after another. Jiaoning Sun thought it would take Xiang Chemin a few months to get started, but she didn't expect that after 2 months, all the clothes she designed could be used by her without any modification. Because of this, Xiang Chemin's income reached tens of thousands of yuan from part-time work alone. In order to concentrate on designing clothes, she put off all her graphic design work. They have also moved into a new house, and Xiao Jianru's salary has returned to more than 10,000 yuan per month. He has also reduced the cost of renting a house, and his life is getting better and better. Jiaoning Sun carefully looked at the sales of various clothes. Seeing that there were no problems, he went to Jiao's fresh food again. Last winter, she found that many people's land in the village had been abandoned. They feel that instead of working hard to farm the land, it is better to work in the city. Jiaoning Sun rented all the abandoned land and grew valuable vegetables and fruits on it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 333. Chapter 333 Cheerily. The villagers are also very happy, so that the elderly can still have income without feeling distressed. Moreover, Jiaoning Sun's family has more land, and they need more people. They have also found a lot of people in the village, which has added a lot of employment opportunities to Daguo village. The village chief can't help but smile every day. Mouth. Hence, Jiaoning Sun's family now has several hundred acres of land contracted. Just one Zhou's fresh food is definitely not enough to be consumed. Jiaoning Sun bought 2 more shops and asked Qiu Yu and Zheng Hang to manage them. The first shop managed by Jiao Shulan is now also managed by Huang Daniu. She now only needs to visit 3 shops every day. Help in the shop if you like. If you don't want to, you can go shopping, have afternoon tea, and play around with your parents. It is June now, and the cherries in Jiaoning Sun's field are already available for sale. Today is the first day the shop sells cherries. Although her cherry tree has only been planted for less than a year, she has a recipe for inducing birth, which can quickly bring the cherries into the peak production period. And there is a formula for inducing birth. Each fruit can reach 4J, and the size is similar. With her current ability, she can already ripen plants remotely. She can ripen as much as she can sell every day. Hence, the ones sold in the shop today are all very big. Of course, before the cherries matured, her ripening department sent a batch to her customers. After Du Kunpeng ate it, he asked her to leave some for Jun Huang to sell every day. Since Junhua was Chu Yanyi, of course she agreed without hesitation. At this time, as soon as she walked to the shop, several people gathered around Cheerily's stall. You actually have cherries here, they look so fresh. It's so big, There should be 4 J's. Each one looks flawless and looks very appetizing. The stems of each one are still green and look very fresh. Boss, I haven't heard of anyone growing cherries in Nanjing. Are they brought from other places? Xiao Shulan told the truth, no, we grew it at home. Today is the first day of sale. You can tell by looking at it. The leaves and stems are very green. I just picked them this morning. I am not boasting. Although it is domestically produced, but the taste is definitely different from the cherries shipped by sea or air from a certain country. It's much better. The person who just asked was shocked. With the climate in Nanjing, is it possible to grow cherries? I like to watch the news, but I haven't seen any news reports. Xiao Shulan smiled and said, it's true. If you don't believe it, you can go to Daguo village and have a look. Seeing the boss say this, the man said no more. Boss, can you try it? Yes, of course, everyone can try, but only one per person. After doing business for so long, she has finally come to understand human nature. Sometimes you are generous, but others regard you as a fool. You said you could try it, and she kept trying it. After trying it 7 or 8 times, she said it didn't taste good and stopped buying it. Then come back the next day dressed up differently, even with a wig, and use the same trick to try the food. Cherries are really too expensive, and they are my daughter's hard work. Of course she can't be abused like that. At a time, 5 people took one to try at the same time. Well, it tastes so sweet. It's very big and tastes very enjoyable. It's delicious, it's really fresh, crispy, and has a good texture. This is the freshest taste, it's not bad. It's so big, so it must be very expensive. It's delicious, boss, how do you sell this? Some people who still want to continue to try the food are too embarrassed to take it anymore after hearing what Xiao Shulan just said. Xiao Shulan, the boxed ones are £1 each and cost 100 yuan per pound. If you don't like the packaged ones, you can buy them in bulk and we will weigh them for you on the spot, and the price will be 100 yuan per pound. 100 pounds per pound, so expensive. 100 is not expensive. Those that have been shipped by sea and have been floating on the sea for dozens of days are not fresh at all. The smallest ones are sold in Nanjing for at least 8 or 91 kilograms. Yes, these are fresh and delicious, well worth 100. Another person looked at Xiao Shulan, boss, is it true that the price cannot be lowered? Cheerios from other parts of China are not that expensive. Xiao Shulan said with a smile, there is really no way. The cultivation of cherries is very labor intensive, and the taste here is very good. Those from other places need to be transported with preservatives and other drugs. Mine are directly imported from the local area. It takes less than 2 hours to come down from the tree and transport it. It's safe and fresh. Hearing the word safe and fresh, the regular customer had nothing to say. Fruits must be eaten fresh. The old customer had no choice but to compromise. Okay, I'll buy a pound first to try. I'll give it a try too. At one time, several people took the boxed ones and went to check out. Some people hesitated for a while, thinking that the younger generations at home liked it very much, so they bought a pound to try it. Some people who just came in saw the cherries at a glance, and when they saw so many people buying them, they all bought some. She also informed Xiaoning Xuan, the vegetable seller, and they all sent people to buy them. They were more generous. When they heard that these cherries were all local and picked in the morning, one person bought 5 caddies, that person 8 caddies, and some bought 10 caddies to give to relatives and friends. So today, in just over an hour, the several hundred kilograms of cherries delivered to Joe's fresh food store have been sold out. Xiao Ningxun made another call to Qiuyu and Zhengheng, and all the cherries in the 2 branches were sold out. Xiao Shulan looked at today's income with a smile. I knew Chalitzi was popular, but I didn't expect it to be so popular. When she was working as a nanny, her employer would also buy cherries to eat back. Each time, I buy 5 or 10 kilograms back. She thought that only her employer would buy it like this, but she didn't expect that there were quite a few people in Nanjing who were willing to spend money to eat. Many people with average incomes would buy a pound or half a pound to try. Today, a total of 900 kilograms of cherries were delivered to the 3 shops. Each kilogram was sold for 100 yuan, a total of 90,000 yuan. The money earned from selling cherries alone was higher than her previous day's turnover. Xiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Of course, things that both grandpa and grandma like will be easy to sell." Yesterday, Xiao Jianru took his family home. They went to the field to pick some cherries and took them home to eat. It was a full 10 kilograms. The whole family finished it in less than half an hour, and everyone looked like they were still unfinished. Xiao Shulan looked forward to it. Today is only the first day. There are still many fruit trees in the field. It seems that we can make a lot of money. End of this chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 334. Xiaoning Xun, yes. Seeing that another customer came in and asked about cherries, Xiaoning Xun hurried out and took down the sign that sold cherries. Xiao Shulan also called Deguo village and asked them to send another 600 kilograms in the afternoon. Generally, after buying something in the morning, a group of customers will come in the afternoon because they spread it intentionally or unintentionally. Xiao Ningxun couldn't help much in the shop. Seeing that there was still an hour and a half left for the college entrance examination Chinese test, he returned to the lounge in the shop, opened the stock trading software, and looked at the stocks. That's right, the stocks she bought before have at least doubled by 5 times. She did the operation several times, and each time she sold at a high point, bought at a low point, sold high and bought low, and made a lot of money. Although there are many people around her who need money, if she introduces them to them, they can also make a lot of money. But she didn't want to harm anyone. If those people got a little bit of sweetness, their appetite would definitely increase in the future. What if she invests all her wealth behind her back and buys stocks that are not potential stocks, and ends up jumping off the building? This is why she would rather let her 4th aunt and 2 children work part-time than let them buy stocks. After reading the stocks, she opened Dolphin Video and planned to live broadcast. Earn whatever you can. Anchor, I thought you took the college entrance examination today. It turns out you are not a senior in high school. The anchor is too young, probably only a sophomore or freshman in high school. It is really amazing to have such great ability at such a young age. I really want to see the true face of the anchor, and I don't know if I will have the chance in this life. I want to see you too. The anchor is probably afraid that his appearance will be exposed now, which may affect his study. Also, if there was such a powerful person in my school, it would probably cause an uproar in the school. Of course, but I think there will probably be fewer bad people in the school in the future. After all, the anchor will know all their past and future just by looking at those people. That's true, but it's so exciting. Xiaoning Xun, okay, everyone, hurry up and tell fortunes. If you have time today, there will be 2 places. If you don't have time, there will be 3 places. I also have lunch with my college entrance examination students. Okay, anchor, let's get started. Xiaoning Xun, today, the first person to take the title of the anchor's college entrance examination gold list will be counted as the first person. Rabbits don't eat carrots, the anchor's title on the college entrance examination gold list. Xiaoning Xun, rabbits don't eat radishes. If the rabbit doesn't eat the carrot, pay immediately and apply for a connection. Soon, a woman appeared in the live broadcast room. Xiaoning Xun, rabbits don't eat carrots, hello. Rabbit doesn't eat carrots, hello, anchor. Xiaoning Xun, what do you want to ask? Rabbit does not eat carrots and asked excitedly, anchor, My son also took the college entrance examination today. I just want to ask, can my son get good grades this time? My son usually has very good grades, but in the college entrance examination last year, something happened temporarily, and the score was not very good. The teacher also felt that it was a pity for him, because with his usual grades, he could definitely go to Huaxia University. But when I was taking the math test, I suddenly started to have vomiting and diarrhea. I collapsed and couldn't take the exam. I was in the hospital for infusions the next day. I've been paying special attention to his diet this year, but I'm still worried about an accident. My friend told me that you can tell fortunes and you're very accurate, so I wanted to ask you. Xiaoningsun calculated with his fingers, it will be easy for your son to get good grades in the college entrance examination this year, given his ability, but if he can't handle it, something unexpected will happen. No matter how capable a person is, it will not be easy for him to succeed if there are people holding him back. Rabbi Rabbit was stunned for a moment. Anchor, what accident will happen? Can I stop it? Xiaoningsun, you can stop it? I know you are live broadcasting near the school now. If your family comes to deliver lunch to you and your son later, then you should not give it to your son. What the anchor means is that the family didn't cook the food well? Possibly. You see, the hostess is outside now, and the male host is probably cooking at home. Many men rarely go to the kitchen, and they must not know that some dishes are poisonous if they are not cooked thoroughly. That is too unfair. After more than 10 years of hard study, my future was ruined by my family. If it were me, I would definitely collapse. I can do it too. The rabbit refused to eat the carrot and said in surprise, "Can you say that lunch is unclean?" But the lunch was made by the child's father himself. He usually cooks at home, and we eat his food every day. The food he cooked for the college entrance examination are also its home-cooked food, not something the child has ever eaten before, and he cooks it very cleanly. Cooking every day? That's a good man. Nowadays, many men don't even enter the kitchen. Yeah, that's how my family is. They only know how to eat and don't wash it after eating. They just leave it on the table, which makes me angry just looking at it. Upstairs, we are in the same boat. I asked him to wash the dishes, but what else could he say? There were so many clean dishes, and washing only one after use would save water and gas. Upstairs, I suspect you are spying on my husband. Haha, my husband is like this too. He is really too lazy. I don't even bother to talk to him now, and I will get even angrier if I do. There are many good men, but they all belong to other people's families. What nonsense and truth. Xiaoningsun, usually, cooking is clean and hygienic. Doesn't mean that today's cooking is clean and hygienic. If you think about it carefully, did your son eat the food he sent on the first day of the college entrance examination last year, so he took the exam in the afternoon? Vomiting and diarrhea during math. Rabbit refused to eat carrots. Thinking of what happened last year, the hospital also said that her son had vomiting and diarrhea because he ate unclean food. But my son said that he was really hungry after taking the exam, so even though the teacher told him not to eat food from street stalls during the 2 days of college entrance examination, he still bought 2 sausages when he saw them at noon. Later, the whole family thought it must be the 2 grilled sausages, and even went to look for the grilled sausage stall owner, but they never found it. They felt that the stall owner must have a guilty conscience. He knew that his things were dirty and had been troubled by other parents, so he did not dare to set up a stall again. I didn't expect it to be because of my family members. The rabbit stopped eating the carrots and thought for a while, then asked, "My husband didn't do it on purpose, right? Could it be because the insulated lunchbox was not washed properly?" Xiaoningsun, no, he was poisoned. Everyone in the live broadcast room was shocked at the same time as the rabbit didn't eat carrots. How is this going? It is impossible for a father to poison his child, right? Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 335. This is not certain. If men become ruthless, women will have nothing to do with them. It is also possible for them to kill their own children for their own benefit. There is a lot of news about this. I agree with you. Upstairs, one of my dad's colleagues got divorced and took custody of his son. He went on a blind date again and fell in love with a woman. The woman hated his son. He actually locked him in the house for 5 days and wanted to starve his children alive. Upstairs, I have also seen this news. Fortunately, when the child's aunt went home before, she bought him a lot of snacks and asked him to hide them in the cabinet so that his parents would not find them, so they were not confiscated, didn't starve to death. The child's second life was given by his aunt. Some men don't love their children at all and deliberately rob them just to make the mother sad. Yes, later the man was sentenced and the child returned to his mother. The husband whose rabbit doesn't eat carrots, is he really poisoned? Rabbit hesitated for a while before eating the carrot and asked, "Is it really my husband who poisoned my child?" Xiaoning Xuan, "No, it was your husband's mistress who poisoned you. He is now cooking at the mistress's house. The mistress also has a child who is taking exams in the same school as your child. The mistress knew that your child had better grades than hers, and she didn't want to be overshadowed by your child, which would make her unable to hold her head high for the rest of her life. So she deliberately poisoned your child last year, causing him to have vomiting and diarrhea, so that he could not take the exam. Originally she thought your child wouldn't be able to repeat his studies and would go directly to work, but she didn't expect that your child would actually repeat his studies. So she plans to repeat the same trick this year. Because for the 2 college entrance examinations, you were waiting at the school gate, and you asked your child's father to deliver food. The child's father felt that it was too troublesome to bring it from home, so he went to the mistress's home. He bought a house near the school so that the mistress's children could study. Therefore, he went to the mistress's house to cook. Twice after cooking, your husband would bring meals to your children. But what he didn't know was that the mistress would poison his son's insulated lunchbox. The rabbit didn't eat the carrot and was stunned on the spot. The live broadcast room also became quiet for a while. This kind of thing is something that even TV dramas would not dare to do. But not long after, the live broadcast room exploded. Rabbits don't eat carrots. Your man has a mistress. Judging from your expression, he probably doesn't know. How pitiful. My husband actually bought a house in the school district for the mistress for the sake of her child. Some men, who can make a little money, are in trouble. They hope to have a home at home and a home outside. I know this kind of thing very well. Even after I got divorced, my ex-husband still came to see me. In fact, he already had another family, but the other one was too fierce and he couldn't hold it down. He wanted me to serve him by his side, scum to the extreme. Rabbi Rabbit refused to eat carrots and burst into tears. Anchor, are you telling the truth? Has my husband really cheated on me? Xiaoning Xuan, of course, he found his mistress not long after he married you. The children between you and your mistress are only 4 months apart. If you don't believe it, go and find him now, as I said. He is cooking now. It is also very close to there. It can be reached in 3 or 4 minutes. Rabbi Rabbit don't eat carrots really didn't believe that her husband would cheat on her, so she nodded and said, "Okay, you show me the way, and I'll go." Xiaoning Xuan, go directly to the east, turn right at the first intersection, and then. Rabbit did as Xiaoning Xuan said without eating the carrot, and soon arrived at the door of the first floor of a residential complex. Xiaoning Xuan, knock on the door. The rabbit did as he was told without eating the carrots. Soon, a female voice came from inside. Who is it? Rabbits don't eat carrots, property. It became quiet inside, and the door was quickly opened. Rabbit didn't eat the carrot and saw a person about her age. He frowned and said, Are you the only one in your family? Bai Tingyu, no, my man is at home. Are you from the property management company? Why haven't I seen you? The rabbit didn't want to eat the carrot and couldn't wait any longer, so he rushed in directly. Hearing a sound coming from the kitchen, he immediately ran over. Bai Tingyu was stunned and said angrily, "You, even if you are a real estate agent, you can't just enter my house. I just mopped the floor." Rabbit walked to the kitchen without eating the carrots. When he saw the people in the kitchen, he suddenly collapsed. You are actually here, you are really too much. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I really couldn't believe that you actually have a son outside, and that child is only 4 months younger than my child. You actually lied to me for more than 10 years. You lied to me so badly." When Gao Kaisheng saw his wife coming, he was a little at a loss. He obviously hid it very well, why was he suddenly exposed? Bai Tingyu knew that she was the first wife after listening to what Rabbit did not eat carrots, and she suddenly felt guilty. Rabbit doesn't eat carrots, so Qianxinyu looked sad. You and her children will also take the college entrance examination this year, and you bought a house for the mistress, and you also cooked for my son in the mistress's house. With a loud voice, he quickly came to Qianxinyu's side and explained, "Honey, listen to my explanation." Qianxinyu said angrily, "What else can you explain? Explain why you are with this mistress? Explain why you bought a house for the mistress? Explain that you have been cooking for my son here since the college entrance examination last year." Cao Gao was startled. "You know everything?" Qianxinyu mocked, "Yes, I know everything. Do you know that our son had vomiting and diarrhea during the exam last year because your mistress put medicine in my child's food?" Gao Kaisheng suddenly turned his head to look at Bai Tingyu, and said in shock, "Did you poison my son?" Bai Tingyu's heart skipped a beat. She didn't expect that Qianxinyu even knew about this. "Hold," in a high voice, "speak." Qianxinyu said coldly, "You can tell it's true by looking at her expression. Her son has poor grades and my son has good grades. In order to prevent my son from overpowering her son, she deliberately drugged me to destroy me." "Son." Bai Tingyu's face turned pale, she actually knew so clearly. Qianxinyu walked to the kitchen and saw that there was only a lunch box inside, and said coldly, "Gao Kaisheng, you are really a good father. You let my child eat lunch at school, and the mistress's son comes back and sits comfortably on the table at home. Eat, your son will definitely hate you if he finds out." Explain hesitantly in a high voice, I. Seeing that he couldn't explain a word, Qianxinyu stopped talking nonsense with him and quickly took the lunch box in his hand. "I don't want to hear your explanation, and you don't have to ask her. I will take this lunch box for testing. If the poison is detected, it can prove that she was indeed poisoned. If you ask her like this, she will definitely not admit it." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 336. Bai Tingyu panicked when she heard this, and immediately went to grab Qianxinyu's lunchbox. She has been drugged a long time ago. If she goes for a test, she will definitely be able to detect it. The loud voice immediately grabbed her. Bai Tingyu struggled violently. Seeing Bai Tingyu's reaction so fiercely, Gao Kaisheng understood and said angrily, "You actually poisoned my son? And did it twice. His and Qianxinyu's children have good grades, which has been his pride since he was a child. He has been envied by many people since he was a child. Although he still has a child with his mistress, that child is, to put it mildly, not good at learning, and to put it worst, he is almost mentally retarded. The fact that he scored 250 points in the college entrance examination is all due to the manifestation of his ancestors. Bai Tingyu knew what the bottom line was for Gao Kaisheng, so she hurriedly explained, I just wanted that child to take the college entrance examination with my son, so I gave her son a little croton in his lunchbox last year. With an angry voice, Gao Gao gave Bai Tingyu a slap in the face without even thinking about it. Bitch, I've been so good to you, but you actually harmed my son. Bai Tingyu touched her injured face and became angry. Are you good to me? You are good to me. I asked you to write my son's name on this house. Why didn't you agree? Qian Xinyu gave birth to a son for you. But I also gave birth to a son for you. He is also a son. Why can't my son live in his own house? The house belongs to you now. If you don't want us mother and son any day, we will have to sleep on the street. Gao Kai raised his eyebrows and said, don't make yourself look so pitiful. When did I miss you and your son? Qian Xinyu and her son have everything. You have everything. I originally planned to wait for your son to get married in this house, transfer the ownership directly to him, who knew you were so vicious and wanted to ruin my son's future. Qian Xinyu sneered and said, I will settle your matters with you later. With that said, she was about to leave with her lunchbox. Xiao Ningxun just told her on the road that if the lunchbox was really poisonous, then Bai Tingyu would be guilty of intentional injury and would be imprisoned. She will not take action against the mistress. If she breaks the law will deal with her. If she takes action, she will regret it to death if she leaves a criminal record and affects her children's employment in the future. And there was not much time until noon, and she still had to prepare meals for her children. Bai Tingyu suddenly became anxious. Speak loudly and stop her quickly, otherwise I'm really finished. If I go to jail, I will have a criminal record, and our children's lives will be ruined. Qian Xinyu, that's your retribution too. Do you dare to do it or not? Gao Kaisheng grabbed Bai Tingyu and refused to let her leave. He also had no intention of pursuing Qian Xinyu. You killed my son last year and made our whole family unable to hold our heads high in front of our relatives and neighbors. You also cost us more money. I won't spare you a year's time and money for your son to repeat his studies. He often shows off his son's good grades in front of relatives and friends. Last year, my child failed to enter college and had to repeat his studies. Relatives and friends asked him why, but even if he told the truth, they didn't believe him. They will only think that it is an excuse for his child to fail in the exam. God knows how he spent this year in front of his relatives and friends because he was so face-conscious. Of course he will not spare the culprit. Bai Tingyu cried and said, speak up, please, for the sake of giving birth to a child for you, please spare me. He raised his voice and said, it's impossible. I've been so good to you, but you betrayed me. I want you to pay the due price. As soon as he finished speaking, several policemen walked in at the door. As soon as Qian Xinyu went out, she saw the police coming. After asking, I found out that it was Xiao Ningxun who called the police. Qian Xinyu pointed at Bai Tingyu, police gentleman, this mistress actually poisoned my son to make him suffer from vomiting and diarrhea and make him unable to take the college entrance examination. She poisoned him once last year, and she poisoned him again this year. The policeman nodded solemnly. The college entrance examination is not only a major event for students, but also a major event for the country. If someone actually wants to destroy a student's future, he or she will only go to jail. The police quickly arrested Bai Tingyu and took away the lunchbox at the same time. Because Qian Xinyu had to take care of the college entrance examination students in the past 2 days, she made an agreement with the police to go to the police station to take notes after the college entrance examination. After the police left, he said in a loud voice, honey, let me cook for the children again. The lunches for the 2 children are not yet available. 2 children? Hearing these 4 words, Qian Xinyu went crazy. Qian Xinyu said coldly, back then, when your child was in high school, I advised you to sell your old house and move it to a place near the high school, so that your child could eat well, sleep well, and not be so tired while studying day in and day out. What did you say at that time? You said you didn't have much money and it was really difficult to change your house. After saying that, she glanced at the extremely luxuriously decorated house in front of her and laughed at herself. I didn't expect that you didn't have money. You were worried that my son and I would find out if you moved the house to a place near the school. Look at this place decoration, look at the furniture here, it doesn't cost 600 to 700 yuan, it must be that the decoration is not good. He spoke loudly. Honey, I was wrong. That woman was very good at pretending in front of me. I didn't expect her to be so vicious. If I knew she was such a vicious person, I wouldn't be with her. You heard it just now, this house is still in my name, and I didn't give it to her. In my heart, I still care more about our children. From now on, this house will be left to our son. I can transfer it as soon as the college entrance examination is over. To our son. Qianxinyu snorted, whatever you want, but I don't dare to cook here. I'm afraid that the kitchen utensils here are poisoned. I might as well go to a relative's house nearby to cook. After saying that, she left without looking back. He knew she was angry even though he spoke loudly, so he didn't dare to chase her. After Qianxinyu left Xiaosan community, she said to the live broadcast room, Anchor, thank you very much. I'm going to cook for the children first. Qiaoning Xuan, go. Some water friends are very curious about what happens next. If the rabbit doesn't eat carrots, will you get divorced? Rabbit doesn't eat carrots, it may or may not leave. If you don't want to leave this kind of person, will you keep him here for the new year? His illegitimate son is not much younger than your son. Rabbit does not eat carrots. I know that he is not a qualified husband, but he is very good to the children. I want to ask for the children's opinions. If the children can't let go of him, I can only follow the children. Nowadays, many children from single-parent families, it's not easy to get married, and you will be disliked by others. If the child doesn't mind the difficulty of getting married in the future, I will divorce. You are confused, you should get divorced. For the sake of your children, it is really too easy for that man to wrong yourself like this. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 337. Upstairs, why do you want others to get divorced so much? That's right, are you the mistress's family member? Do you think that as long as she gets divorced, the mistress can take over? Don't talk nonsense, I am just an ordinary melon eater. Rabbits don't eat carrots. I advise you to think carefully. If you don't divorce, if your husband is disobedient, you can sue him for bigamy, but if you divorce, the three of them live happily together, so you can't take it easy on them. I think so. Divorce will be easier for them. Then you and your children will have to watch others get reunited. If he's mistress to death. Judging from today's events, the mistress will definitely go to jail, and your husband will not be able to be with her. Let's live a good life in the future. I think it's okay to get divorced and let your husband get clean and leave the house. I don't think any mistress likes a man who has no money. Rabbit doesn't eat carrots. Thank you for your advice, Anchor. Do you think I should get a divorce? Qiaoning Xuan, according to the fortune telling I gave you, you shouldn't leave now. Although that man is indeed and his illegitimate child is already over 10 years old. But that man will still have wealth in the future. If the rabbit doesn't eat carrots and divorces him now, his money will have nothing to do with the rabbit not eating carrots. Even if you want to divorce, you have to wait until the man's wealth is gone before divorcing. Moreover, the illegitimate son did not recognize his father after Bai Tingyu was imprisoned. Gao Kaisheng was heartbroken by him and gradually stopped caring about him. Since then, he has been honest, as if to make up for his wife and children. He is very kind to his wife and children, and he can be regarded as responsive to their requests. The illegitimate child was also killed in a car accident because he was racing with others. Gao Kaishan's heart has always been with his first wife and children, and he has lived his whole life with them honestly. Rabbit doesn't eat carrots, I understand, thank you host. Qiaoning Xuan, same as before, the first person to get the title of the Anchor's college entrance examination gold list in the second round will get the second fortune-telling qualification. Ping Anan, the Anchor's title on the college entrance examination gold list. Qiaoning Xuan, safe and safe, congratulations. Ping Anan pays and applies for connection. Soon, a woman wearing a mask appeared in the live broadcast room. Qiaoning Xuan, Ping Pingan, what do you want? Ping Pingan felt a little embarrassed when she thought about the question she wanted to ask. After hesitating for a while, she finally spoke, Anchor, my husband is the third eldest child in the family, but for some reasons, his eldest brother and second brother's children are also my children. They are all the same age and the college entrance examination is today. I want to ask, who of the three children will get the best results? Can my child be admitted to Huaxia University? Do I need to ask this? You'll know on the day the results come out. Yes, Pinganan, you are too impatient. Today is the first day of the college entrance examination, so you are anxious about your results. In fact, it is understandable that parents want to know their children's future in advance so that they can plan in advance. Agree upstairs. Poor parents in the world, all the fortune tellers here today are actually related to the college entrance examination. Ping Anan, actually, it's normal for me to be anxious. The child's grandfather made a small fortune in the past 2 years. He said that if anyone is admitted to Huaxia University, he will give the child 1 million, and the rest are 500,000 and 300,000. Here, 1 million can buy a very good house. I also have some money, but after buying it, I don't have any money to decorate it. My family's business hasn't been very good recently, and I still haven't received a lot of money back, which will have to wait until the end of the year or next year. If you don't buy a house now, you will probably have to spend double the money to buy it in a few months. The house prices have risen so much now. So, I thought, if my child can be admitted to Huaxia University, after I buy a house and the child's grandparents give money, I will have extra money in my hand, and it will not affect my normal life. I can buy it with confidence now. But if I fail the exam, I won't dare to buy it. After buying it, my hands will be tied. If the child knew that all the money for his college education was borrowed, he would definitely have a low self-esteem throughout college and become unhappy. So that's it, that is to say, you are in a hurry to buy a house now. Now is indeed a good time to buy a house. In the past month, the house price here has increased by several thousand. Yes, buying a house is also an investment, so you must be cautious. I understand peace and safety. Qiaoning Xuan, show me your palm. Be safe and do as you are told. After a while, Qiaoning Xuan said seriously, one of those three children will indeed be admitted to Huaxia University. Ping Pingan said anxiously, who could it be? Qiaoning Xuan, it's not the son who lives in your house now. Ping Pingan suddenly changed his expression and said excitedly, why not my son? He can't be admitted to Huaxia University, and neither can the other two. Don't get excited, the Anchor is telling the truth. That's right, everyone who knows the Anchor knows that she only tells the truth and does not say compliments. You have to listen to compliments and go to those liars to tell fortunes. That's right, you came to the host to have your fortune told. She told the truth, but you couldn't stand it? People like you shouldn't come to have your fortune told. Seeing everyone in the live broadcast room criticizing her, Ping Pingan also knew that she was too excited just now. I'm sorry, it's my fault. I just can't believe that my son with very good grades will not be admitted to Huaxia University. If that happens to our family, everybody gets hit. Qiaoning Xuan, you are too anxious. What I mean is, not this son. Ping Ping came to his senses and asked doubtfully, isn't this the son I am now? But I only have one son, and I don't have a son who is studying or living outside. Qiaoning Xuan, your current son is not your biological son. Your biological son is now in the same school as your adopted son and will also take the college entrance examination this year. In other words, your child was changed in the hospital. Ping Ping was startled and said in disbelief, it's impossible. My son is my biological son. He looks very much like my husband. Even if they look similar, they are not necessarily biological. There is an old saying in my hometown that the child you raise looks like the other. This is true for the families I know who adopt children. We all know that they are not related by blood, but they look very similar to their adoptive parents. I agree with you upstairs, I also have the same statement here. Impossible, definitely impossible, Ping Anan said anxiously, how could my child be carried by the wrong person? If he was carried by the wrong child, wouldn't I have been separated from my biological child for 18 years? Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 338. Qiaoning Xuan, it's not like we were separated for 18 years. You lived in the same village, and then it was demolished and you lived in a community again. You can basically see him every day. Ping Anan asked excitedly, who is he? Qiaoning Xuan, he is your husband's eldest brother's child. What? The live broadcast room exploded again. Oh my God, this is so bloody. In other words, she is raising her husband's eldest brother's children, and her husband's eldest brother is raising his own children? It was really thunderous. If I were the person involved, I would definitely collapse. Everyone will collapse. Ping Ping burst into tears and said, Anchor, are you telling the truth? How could my child be exchanged? How is this possible? Qiaoning Xuan, the reason is very simple. Although your husband ranks third and is more capable, although he is younger than the eldest brother and second brother, he got married in the same year as them. Your husband's eldest brother and second brother have poor earning power, especially your husband's eldest brother, whose earning power is not as strong as your husband's. Your sister-in-law's family didn't have much money at that time. She felt that if the child was born in her own home, she would definitely suffer a lot and suffer a lot. It happened that you both gave birth to the child in the same hospital, so she tried to find a way to give birth to her child in the same hospital. The child has exchanged with your child, and I want my child to enjoy happiness in your home. Oh my God, her sister-in-law is too vicious. In order to let one's own children enjoy happiness, they changed their children. If they are cruel to others, they are also cruel to their own children. There is no airtight wall in the world, so she is not afraid that the matter will be exposed. Does his child hate her? Definitely not. She has given her child everything that does not belong to him for so many years, and this life is worth it? If it were me, I would definitely hate it. Ping Ping, my sister-in-law is very nice. I never believe that she can do such a thing. Qiaoning Xuan, actually, you have also discovered some clues. For example, when your sister-in-law sees your child, she looks like she is seeing her own child. Especially when she was a child, she didn't even hold her own child, she just liked it. Hold your child for the whole day, right? Ping Anan frowned as he thought about his child's childhood. Qiaoning Xuan continued, did your sister-in-law say before that she wanted her child to stop studying after graduating from junior high school and let him go out to earn money to support his family? But in fact, her family is just poorer than yours. Compared with many other families, their family is also in good condition. At that time, You also persuaded your sister-in-law that the child must study. If the education is only junior high school, it will be difficult to marry a wife in the future. After all, there are college students everywhere now. But when it comes to your child, your sister-in-law said that if your child has good grades, he must be allowed to study, and he can go to graduate school. But in fact, the child you raised is not as good as the child raised by your sister-in-law. There were several times when your sister-in-law had conflicts with you and she deliberately beat her son in front of you, just thinking that one day the matter would be exposed and you would regret it and feel distressed. Your sister-in-law's son asked her to buy a computer and a mobile phone, but your sister-in-law didn't buy any of them. On the other hand, when your child needs a computer and a mobile phone, she finds out and says, "You need to buy a better computer and mobile phone for your child, so that the child can have face among his classmates." This kind of belittling and being harsh on your children has caused you to be kind to your children. This has happened countless times over the past 10 years. I believe you should know it without me saying more. Ping Pingan was startled, thinking of the past, and finally believed that what Jiao Ningxun said was true. Seeing that Ping Pingan was about to call on the spot, Jiao Ningxun advised, "I advise you not to question your sister-in-law now. The child is over 18 years old. You can wait until he finishes the college entrance examination before talking to him, and let him talk to you. It will be easier to go for a paternity test together, so that the evidence can be thrown directly in front of your sister-in-law. Both your biological son and your adopted son are at a critical juncture in their lives. If you tell them now, your sister-in-law will most likely not do anything. If you don't stop, you will directly ruin the future of your biological child." Ping Anan nodded. "The host is worried. I know this is a critical moment. I will take the evidence and send her to prison." Jiao Ningxun, "Okay." Ping Anan, "I like to eat melon the most. When you questioned your sister-in-law that day, could you live broadcast it? I want to see. I also want to see what the person who deliberately changed the children looks like, so that I can be wary of her if I meet her in the future." "That's right, Anchor, start the live broadcast that day. I'm following you." "I am also following you, please host to start the live broadcast." Ping Anan thought about it for a moment, and realized that she really wanted to expose a bad person like her sister-in-law. "Okay, you follow me first, and I will notify you of the live broadcast date in advance." "Okay, you can eat the melon." Ping Pingan, "Anchor, I still have to cook for my children, so I'll leave the broadcast first." "Good." 3 minutes later, the third fortune teller appeared. Is a woman about 30 years old. Jiao Ningxun, infatuated man, what do you want to ask? Infatuated person, Anchor, I want to ask about marriage. It's like this. I have a boyfriend who is 5 years older than me and has been living with me for 5 years. I am 34 years old this year, and my family is pressing for marriage, so I proposed marriage to my boyfriend, but he said there was no rush and asked me to wait for another 2 years. In 2 years' time, I will be 36, and I will be 40 in a blink of an eye. Even if I have a child before 40, the child will only be 20 before I am 60. And there are many people around me who died in their 50s. I'm really worried that I won't live to be 60 and won't see my children start a family. I want to ask, will my boyfriend marry me? Jiao Ningxun calculated with her fingers and said sternly, your boyfriend will not marry you. The infatuated lover was a little disappointed. Sure enough, I have guessed it a long time ago. He has been lukewarm to me recently. I asked him out 10 times, but maybe only 5 times. It seems that it is time for me to break up with him. When you have been living with him for 2 or 3 years, you will have to consider lifelong events. Getting married requires impulsiveness. That's right, for married people, their relationship will fade after 2 or 3 years, let alone those of you who don't have a certificate. Yeah, the longer you get along, the more you will understand the other person's shortcomings, and the more disgusted you will be with the other person. You shouldn't have lived with him for so long. The infatuated man suddenly asked, is it because he doesn't like me that he doesn't marry me? Xiaoning Xuan, no, he likes you, but he just uses you as a cash machine. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 339. Infatuated person, what does this mean? Xiaoning Xuan, he is actually married and has a child. When he is with you, the child is always taken care of by the child's mother. He is only dating you because you are a rich man, and you spend every month. You will also give him at least 10,000 yuan in pocket money, and he will give part of the money you give him to his wife to raise his children. The infatuated man was startled, with a look of astonishment on his face. You said he already has a wife and children? He also asked me to raise his wife and children for 5 years. People who are approaching 40 years old generally have wives and children. Yes, you must be careful when interacting with people of this age. I was also deceived by a man of this age. Only when my first wife came to visit did I realize that I was being cheated on by a mistress. But in the case of an infatuated person, I think the man's wife knows about it. Otherwise, she has lived with her husband for so many years, how could she not have discovered it at all? Agree upstairs. This kind of man is too disgusting, letting another woman support his wife and children? Xiaoning Sun did some online manipulation and gave the infatuated person a link. You will know after you click on it. The crazy person clicked on the link as Xiaoning Sun said. Other water friends also click in to take a look. In the video, a man is holding a woman's hand, and the woman is holding a child, and they are shopping together. There were many people taking short videos on that street, and I accidentally captured them. Xiaoning Xuan, now you see it, I didn't lie to you. The infatuated man burst into tears. I should have realized it a long time ago. He is so good looking. Although his monthly salary is small, it is still 4,000. He is a local. It is impossible that he is not married at such an old age. I was actually deceived by him for 5 years. No wonder he was away from home for 3 or 4 days a week after we moved in together. Every time I asked him, he said he worked overtime at the company and slept directly at the company. He is not sleeping in the company, but he is back to his original home. It's so miserable for an infatuated person. How many 5 years can there be in one's life? Yeah, the scumbag really deserves to die. But it's still too late to stop the loss. I think if it were me, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of the shadows in this life. Infatuated person, sue him for bigamy, sue him for fraud. Although you haven't obtained a license with him, living together can be considered a crime of bigamy. Xiaoning Xuan, infatuated man, don't be too anxious. If you can't think about it, only that scumbag will benefit. You forgot, that scumbag still has your bank card and knows your bank card password. The infatuated man came to his senses instantly. Suddenly, a text message came on her phone. When she saw the content, her face turned even darker. Xiaoning Xuan, what's wrong? The infatuated man cried, he took 40,000 yuan from me at one time. I heard him say before that he has a relative's child who needs 40,000 yuan to study. That child is probably his biological child. Scumbag, so abominable. It is really disgusting to eat soft food like this. Hurry up and call to freeze your bank card. Xiaoning Xuan, don't be too anxious. You can definitely get the money back. 40,000 yuan, suspected of fraud, is enough to put him in jail. Yes, call the police. Don't give him an advantage. If you let him have a criminal record, so that his precious child will never be able to serve as a soldier again or be admitted to a national unit. Yes, let him be notorious. The infatuated man hesitated for a moment, but still made a phone call to the man first. Ren Wuqian was counting the money happily. It's really a good life like this. You can get so much money easily without working hard. Hearing the phone ringing, Ren Wuqian hesitated for a while, but in order to keep things flowing smoothly in the future, he answered the phone. Hey, honey, have you received the text message about withdrawing money? I told you before that my relative needs money. You also promised me that I just went to take it? 40,000 yuan is nothing to you. Infatuated person, let me ask you, you used the money I gave you very quickly. Tell me, where did you use it? Ren Wuqian, baby, why did you suddenly mention the past? I told you that I was buying stocks and buying lottery tickets every day. I just had bad luck and lost everything. Infatuated person, then give me your stock transaction records. Don't say it's troublesome, just take a screenshot on your phone. I know you have downloaded the mobile stock trading software. Ren Wuqian suddenly became angry. Why should I show it to you? I think you just don't believe me, don't trust me, then there is no need for us to live anymore. He had tried this trick in the past. As long as he said he wanted to separate from the woman would become anxious, apologize, and then transfer money to him. This woman is old, and whenever she mentions breaking up, she is afraid. She is afraid of finding a new man, having to get along again, and delaying marriage. It will definitely be the same this time. Ren Wuqian was very confident, but the madman said coldly, okay, give me back all the money I transferred to you before. I did the math, including the money you asked me to borrow, it's not much, only 100. As long as you give me back 500,000, I will break up with you. Ren Wuqian was stunned. Why was it different from what he thought this time? Has this woman found a new home? More than 1 million, this lady is really rich. It's a pity that the rich woman didn't meet a good man. I don't know what she saw in that man. He was just a soft-boiled man, and she looked down on soft-boiled men the most. Yes, a man who spends women's money every day is the scum of men. Ren Wuqian frowned and said, do you really want to break up with me? Do you want me to pay back the money? Don't you want me to marry you? If we break up, will you be able to find a man as good as me in the future? I want to vomit. How can there be such a narcissistic man in the world? There are many men like this who think that they are great just because they are men. Yules is the kind of person you are used to living like a prince since you were a child. Once you get out of society, you think others will also treat you like a prince. Yes, those who favor boys over girls have spoiled many men since childhood. The infatuated man sneered, are you a good man? A good man will get married and then mess with me. Ren Wuqian was stunned, what are you talking about? Infatuated person, you know in your heart that the 40,000 yuan you just withdrew, you said it was a loan from a relative, but it was actually used to spend money for your children to study. You don't have that much money, so you can only ask me for it. Also, you spent all the money I gave you on your wife and children. Ren Wuqian's pupils shrank and he said in a trembling voice, how did you? Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 340. How do I know? The infatuated man mocked, do you think you are the only one who is smart and everyone else is a fool? Won't I investigate you? Ren Wuqian swallowed and explained anxiously, baby, you have to believe me. I have divorced that woman, so I am with you. Divorce, the infatuated man frowned, believe you? You told me before that you were single and never married. Now that the matter has been exposed, you just say you are divorced? If I believe you again, I will be a fool. Ren Wuqian, we have been sleeping in the same bed for so long. You can't treat me like that. Don't you have any feelings for me at all? Infatuated person, do you have feelings for a liar? Ren Wuqian choked. Infatuated person, hurry up and return the 40,000 yuan you just withdrew to me. I didn't receive a credit message within 5 minutes, so I called the police immediately. Ren Wuqian suddenly hung up the phone. Let me go, he feels guilty, is he trying to run away? Definitely, call the police. Don't worry, the anchor has called the police many times before, and the anchor must have called the police on her behalf. The infatuated man was about to press the alarm phone and was stunned. Anchor, have you already called the police? Qiaoning Xuan, yes, don't worry, he will definitely be punished. The infatuated person is relieved. At this time, Ren Wuqian was at home. Hearing that the madman wanted to call the police, he immediately started packing his luggage. Ren Wuqian's wife saw him looking flustered as never before and asked, "What's wrong with you? Are you going on a long trip?" Ren Wuqian said anxiously, "Come and help me pack my things. Bring me all the cash at home. She found out that we cheated that fool out of money. She wants to call the police." Ren Wuqian's wife panicked and said in disbelief, "Don't she like you very much? Could she be trying to scare you? What if I give you the cash that our children owe for attending a private school, and I don't have a job, still? You are outside and can't make money, so you have to rely on me alone. What if a creditor comes to your door and you leave me to take care of the child alone? You can do whatever you want," Ren Wuqian roared. "Do you really want to watch me being taken away by the police?" Ren Wuqian's wife quickly denied, "No, I want you to leave first and ask your friends to borrow money on the way. They don't know you are going to be arrested anyway, so they must think that you can pay it back and leave all the money at home to me. My children and I both have to live." Ren Wuqian roared, "Where do I have that time now?" After saying that, he walked to the place where the money was kept and took away all the cash. Ren Wuqian's wife stepped forward and snatched the money without hesitation. "No, you can't take it all." Ren Wuqian frowned, "It's already this time, can you be sensible?" Ren Wuqian's wife, "You should be sensible. I have advised you before not to defraud that woman of her money, but to find a job with a higher salary to support our family. But you are afraid of hardship and tiredness, and are unwilling to change. You defraud that woman every month, sometimes thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Over the years, you have also defrauded others of millions. You should take the initiative to plead guilty now, and you can still be with us when you are released from prison. If you leave like this, you will never see your child again." Ren Wuqian was startled, thought about it for a while, and then snatched the money. "If you can't see it, then you can't see it. I want to live. I don't want to go to prison. That's not a place for people. I will die in there." Speaking, he quickly closed the suitcase and was about to go out. Ren Wuqian's wife sat on the ground in despair. It's over, how can she support the family alone from now on? Ren Wuqian just opened the door and was stunned when he saw the police suddenly appearing outside. How did you come so fast?" The old policeman sneered. "You don't have to worry about this, Ren Wuqian, you are suspected of fraud, and the victim has already called the police. Please come with us." Ren Wuqian saw that the opponent had a large number of people and knew that resisting would be useless, so he had no choice but to capture him. When Ren Wuqian's wife saw this, she also looked desperate. "This home is finished. She is finished too." The police saw Ren Wuqian's wife and took her away. On the other side, Qiaoningsun's fortune-telling ended and the broadcast was quickly downloaded. The time for the Chinese language test has also ended. She called the hotel near the school in advance to order a meal. She went directly to the hotel, where He Yuanyang and other family members were already sitting. Qiaoningsun asked, "Cousin, how do you feel this morning?" He Yuanyang smiled and said, "It's not bad. Our Chinese teacher has given essay questions with similar topics before, and I also did other questions very smoothly. Qiaoning Xuan, that's good. After a while, the people in the hotel served all the dishes. He Yuanyang has been eating here for the past few days, so the dishes he eats today are all ones he has eaten before and can be tolerated by his stomach. After eating, He Yuanyang returned to Tianling community to rest and prepare for the afternoon math test. Qiao Ningxun had nothing to do, so he went invisible to see Deng Yu's situation. No wonder Deng Yu sounded familiar to her. She just remembered that she had heard her name on the news in her previous life. I heard that she took the college entrance examination twice and was admitted to Huaxia University in the second college entrance examination. Her family did not pay her tuition fees. She relied on grants from Huaxia University and various scholarships to successfully graduate and enter a Fortune 500 company. Later, because of his outstanding ability, he completed many company goals in a short period of time, and in just 2 years, he became the leader of the branch. The branch company was about to close down, but because of her arrival, the performance increased tenfold compared to last year, and she was transferred back to the head office. Such a good talent, of course she doesn't want to miss it. In the past few months, she has acquired 2 more clothing factories that were about to close down, and also bought an office building. The scale of the company has also grown. If Deng Yu can work under her in the future, she will be even more powerful. Deng Yu had also finished his meal at this time. After listening to what Deng Yu said, Deng Feiong frowned and said, "Didn't you never encounter this kind of thing before? Why did you encounter it today? Did you really hit that old man?" Lai Fangli also scolded her daughter, "Yes, you used to go there every day without getting into trouble. Why did it happen today?" "Dad, Mom," Deng Yu was very sad, and his family actually blamed himself. "I almost failed the college entrance examination, and I have an exam in the afternoon. Can't you say some words of comfort to me? You have to let me take the math test. Are you thinking about what happened in the morning?" Deng Feiong frowned and said, "Are your wings stiff? We are your parents, asking what's going on with you. Why are you yelling?"